Hey guys, and welcome to another update on the Animal Behavior Kit. Today I wanted to show you a new component that I made called component grow old, and it's exactly what it sounds like. I had this idea a while back and eventually just got around to doing it. Um, so it's going to be a really short video, but I think this is pretty cool, and it's going to again enhance the features of your game if you're doing this. So you have here on the map the animal farm, and if you recall from a few videos ago, we have a population control manager here, and with a few spawners. And what's happening is that this population control manager is spawning or killing animals of a certain species based on parameters that you give it. So in this case, for the species deer, we can give a minimum amount and a maximum amount, and then we select a bunch of other options there. And it'll just spawn, whatever class you give it, right? Obviously, that's pretty cool, and for most games, I think that would be great. But I thought, what if we could spawn a young version of the animal, right? A cub, for example, right? A chick, if you're doing chickens, for example. And then that animal will eventually grow up into the adult version that can then mate and do whatever it needs to do, right? So I did just that, and what I'm showing you here is two new children of the deer class, the prey class, and this is young male buck and young female buck, or young female though rather. And if you come down here, all I've done is I've scaled the mesh down, in this case because I don't have a new mesh for the young version of them, and I've added the component grow old, which in this case is inherited, and it's super simple. Like every component, there's a boolean that says whether the component is active or not. And the reason for that is because in your game you might want to activate those components later, right, programmatically in your level. You have a minimum growth time and a maximum growth time in seconds, so you have some kind of range to add variability, and then you just have what class will the adult version of that animal be. So in this case, this is the young doe, and we're saying between 24 to 30 seconds you'll grow up, and your new grown class is going to be BP prey deer female, the adult version. So if you recall, you can create as many children of the base class as you can, adding as many different components. So this guy right here, this little doe, doesn't have anything else except the grow old, right? So she's not going to, for example, she's not going to mate, obviously, because she's young. And she's not going to, in this case, she doesn't even have the need system component in it. But of course, we could go in there and change it. Same thing for the male version. There's nothing here except the grow old, and we're going to have the same. Let's just change this a little bit. 12 to 24 seconds, just to give it variability. And then we have the class here. And that's pretty much it, right? It's kind of a timer, and based on the range that you put here, if I hit play, I'm going to make myself invisible so they don't run away. And you can see here that you have young doe and young buck. And again, the meshes are just scaled down, but and you can see that now the buck just grew up. Same thing for the female, young doe. Any minute now she's going to grow up into the adult form. There you go. And now, as you can see, so you can see now that they're adults, they can mate, and then they can pop new children. As you can see, in this case, I didn't make the change on the classes, so they're just popping adults. But all you would need to do is change it so the class that would be spawned would be the young ones. So if I were to come here and activate this, and in this case, the limit is 10, and let's make this 50 or something. So the minimum amount of deer allowed is 10, and the maximum will be 50. And if I just click play here, you'll see that right now, oops, We have one male, one female. So in about 10 seconds, there you go. The population control is going to spawn a bunch of young does and young bucks, and you can see they're just running around, and they can keep popping up. And then eventually these guys are going to grow old, and they're going to start mating. So I think is the ones for that class is between 24 seconds and 30 seconds. And you can see now that they're starting to grow older. And as they grow older, then they can actually start mating. Oh, there you go. So that's pretty much it. It's again super simple. I kind of forgot to change the mating class to the young version, but you get the point. When two species would mate, you can just spawn the young version of the class, and that way then you'll have the same cycle. You repeat the same cycle, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, super quick update. As you can see, it's killing a bunch of the deer here to try to maintain it. Let me know what you think. I have made some really good progress on the multiplayer. I would say I'm about 70% of all the stuff is replicated, which is really good. You know, really good progress in the past week, I would say. So hopefully the next update is going to be showing you the replication stuff. In the meantime, I figured I'll show you what I'm working on here. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Thanks a lot.